Hello friends and subscribers, hope you're all doing well, and I apologise for my voice. I tested positive for COVID this morning, so I'm off work, and yeah, I've got me Lemsip here. It tastes bloody horrible, but you know, it soothes my throat. So yeah, I apologise if I clear my throat throughout this video, but I decided to do a video because I still feel able and up to it. So and yeah, the Q&A video I'll do that once I've gotten more questions. I've received a few questions on that Ask Me Anything video, and yeah, once I've got a few more questions in the comments, you know, once there's enough, I'll do the Q&A video and I'll answer those questions for you. Anyway, on to the main topic of this video. So I'm going to be ranking the albums of Guns N' Roses. Guns N' Roses are a band that I liked them when I was a kid. My mum had the Greatest Hits CD, which I think she still owns it actually. But then since then I kind of completely lost interest in them. I didn't listen to them for many years until a year ago. I got back into them again and collected their albums. And yeah, they're not one of my favourite bands of all time, but I love them. They are great. So yeah, I'm just doing the studio albums, no live albums, compilations. And before I start, this ranking is based on my opinion and my order of preference. So there's no right or wrong here. It's all subjective. We all hear things differently. We all have our favourites. So if you want to give your ranking in the comments, then by all means, please do. So without any further hesitation, let's get started. So starting at the bottom, number 6. I don't own this album, but it is their most recent studio album, Chinese Democracy, released in 2008. Yeah, I don't own this album. I did have it, but yeah, I didn't keep it in my collection because I've heard it a couple of times, but just couldn't get into it. I don't like the production style on the album, and the fact that Axl Rose, I think, is the only original member that appears on it. There's no Slash. His guitar riffs are sorely missed on this album. It doesn't feel like Guns N' Roses. I think Axl should have released it as a solo album, to be honest, because it really is a Guns N' Roses album in name only. And there's a lot of synthesizers on here and drum machines, which just doesn't work for Guns N' Roses, I don't think. So yeah, I've just got no desire to listen to this album again. So Chinese Democracy is number 6. Number 5 is the Spaghetti Incident, which was released in 1993. So this is their covers album. So it contains covers of like punk rock songs and 70s like glam rock songs. And I've got to say, I actually do like this album. Some fans are not big fans of it. I actually do quite dig this album. It has some great songs, including their version of Since I Don't Have You. I love it. It's fantastic. Human Being is a cool song. Ain't It Fun is another good one, and Hair of the Dog. Yeah, it's not a perfect album by any means, but it's not as bad as people say. And so yeah, so that's number 5, the Spaghetti Incident. Number 4 is GNR Lies. So this is their second album. Yeah, I don't own the Spaghetti Incident, by the way, as you could probably tell, but I do plan on getting that one eventually. But anyway, back onto this one. So yeah, number 4 is Lies. Now, it's only really half a studio album. Like, the first half of the album is from their live EP that they released in 1986, just before Appetite for Destruction. What's it called? Live Like a Suicide EP. So they released that live EP before Appetite for Destruction. So yeah, the first half of the album is basically the EP in its entirety, and then the second half is the new studio recordings. The live tracks are really good. You know, Reckless Life is cool. Nice Boys, Move to the City, and Mannequin, which was an Aerosmith song which they covered. And then the studio tracks, you get Patience, Used to Love Her, You're Crazy, and One in a Million. Patience is one of my favourite Guns N' Roses songs of all time. It's just a beautiful acoustic track, because all the studio tracks on here, they're all acoustic. So yeah, it's really nice. I don't like One in a Million, which is the last track on here. Now, if you've heard that song, you probably know why I don't like it. It's lyrical content. You know, it has some racist, homophobic lyrical content. I think that's why, that song's now been removed from the catalogue. But yeah, I like everything else on here. I mean, the sound quality on the live tracks isn't brilliant, but, you know, still listenable. And yeah, I do enjoy this album quite a lot. You know, it's debatable whether you consider it a proper studio album or not. Although, if you go on Wikipedia, it says that it is their second studio album, so I'm including it. Although the band themselves have said it's just 2 EPs packaged together. But I decided to include it anyway. Number 3 is Use Your Illusion 2. Released 1991. Really good album. There's some great songs on here. Civil War, 14 Years, Yesterday's, Knocking on Heaven's Door. The best version ever. You know, the Bob Dylan version's decent. You know, I'm not a huge Bob Dylan fan, but I like some of his stuff. But yeah, this is the best version in my opinion. I like this better than Dylan and Clapton's version. Get in the Ring, Estranged, You Could Be Mine, Don't Cry, which is alternative lyrics, because there was another version that appeared on Use Your Illusion 1. Yeah, I don't like My World, which is the last track on here. That's kind of like a hip hop track. But yeah, they didn't need to include it on here, to be honest. But yeah, I do like this. And this was, of course, released on the same day as Use Your Illusion 1, because the original plan was to release it as a double album. But the 2 discs they released them separately, but on the same day, in order to make more money. But yeah, I do like this album a lot. Use Your Illusion 2 at number 3. Number 2 is Use Your Illusion 1. I like this just a bit better than the second one. You know, we've got November Rain on here, which one of my favourite songs of all time. And yeah, maybe it is probably overplayed, but I don't listen to the radio, so yeah, I love November Rain. It's a beautiful song. And we've also got Live and Let Die, a great version. I like it just as much as the Paul McCartney and Wings version. Right Next Door to Hell is great. Dust and Bones, Bad Obsession. And you've got the original version of Don't Cry on here. Perfect Crime. Back Off Bitch. You know, it's just great album. I love it. A lot of people say that both of the Use Your Illusion albums are a bit bloated, that there's too much material. Yeah, I suppose so, but but for an album that has November Rain, Right Next Door to Hell, Live and Let Die, Bad Obsession, Don't Cry, you know, with songs like that, you can't really go wrong. So, number one, if you know Guns N' Roses catalogue, you probably know what number one is. It's their debut album, Appetite for Destruction, released 1987. Yeah, considered one of the greatest hard rock albums of all time, and yeah, you can't deny that this album's impact. You know, because this was largely ignored by the mainstream when it first came out. It wasn't until Sweet Child of Mine was released on MTV the following year. That's when the album started to sell more copies, and since then it's become one of the greatest albums of all time. And such an iconic cover as well. I just love that cover. I mean, every song's great. Welcome to the Jungle, It's So Easy, Night Train, Out to Get Me, Mr. Brownstone, Paradise City, My Michelle, Think About You, Sweet Child of Mine, which, you know, it's debatable whether it's overplayed, but like I say, I don't listen to the radio. So, but yeah, I still love Sweet Child of Mine. You're Crazy, Anything Goes, and Rocket Queen, which I think that's probably my favourite track on here. And yeah, it's got You're Crazy on here, which there was also a version of You're Crazy on Lies as well, but that was an acoustic version. The one on here is a hard rock version. But yeah, this is the best thing they ever did. I don't think they've ever quite topped this. I mean, the albums that followed were good, but just not quite as good as this. But yeah, so there you have it. That is my ranking of Guns N' Roses albums. And like I say, if you want to give your ranking in the comments below, then please feel free to do so. And I hope you enjoyed this ranking. And if you did, then please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe for more videos, and then click the bell so that you don't miss out on any uploads. Thanks for watching, and take care.